y'all, welcome back to another video and welcome back to another Lightroom tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how I edit my portraits here in Lightroom. I am someone that loves an elevated simple portrait, which means I love the soft, muted, and contrast look with some vibrancy in it. And so let's get started. So let's go to this photo, but before it was edited. And this is how it looks as a raw photo right out the camera. And I am going to go over to my presets right over here. And as you see, I have some saved already. So I'm going to click the one that I saved for the last one and go here. I'm also going to show you some of the settings that I use. So over here on the right panel in the basic panel, I took the temperature down just a little bit and I went up on the tint for the magenta tint a little bit for just 1 point. I took the exposure down because I didn't want it too exposed, so I went down to, I believe, -10. I also upped the contrast because I am very much someone that loves a good contrast because it really makes the image pop, in my opinion. And so that is why I like to do that. I also muted the highlights and the whites so that you can kind of just get her skin in a nice way. And then I took the texture down all the way. Texture can really help in that soft look, and that's what I love to get. So I went down a little bit to -19. Clarity, I went up 1. Dehaze, I was -5 because that can kind of work with the contrast as well, but it also helps with the light of the photo. And then I adjust the vibrancy to 2.4 and then saturation to -1. One thing that helps with adjusting your saturation is that you're able to help with that mutedness because then it will help you to relate it to real life. So yeah, I love doing that. Then I go into tone curving. This is something that I love to adjust and play with. I play with like this kind of stiff S. I know a lot of other editors may make the S a little bit more defined, but me, I kind of go in with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points for this one. Now, this here, it really adjusts kind of the fadedness of a photo, which can kind of help in those film looks if you like it. I went up just a little bit with it. And then this point here really helps with the contrast as well. Right in the middle, the mid-tones, I kind of kept it right in the middle a little bit. And then up here with like highlights, I just adjusted it a little bit. I brought it down so that, as you can see, if you bring it up, you see the highlights more, but if you bring it down, it can be very much so muted. And then I went here, pointed in the middle of that, and then came to the last point where this kind of adjusted that window light over there, as you can see. And that was really good. Also, as I come down, here is the color mixer. I usually like to come down on the oranges because orange can be very vibrant and I just want the skin to look more natural. So I went down on there, -5. Then the colors in the diner, I kind of elevated a little bit with the aqua and then elevated the green a little bit so that it can stand out. That was at 6. Yes, at 6. Then I come to the color grading, and this is where it gets fun, where I can really hone in on the color of the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. Now for me, I am a warm girl and I love to have that warmth in photos. So this is where I adjust it to the oranges a lot, even for the midtones. And I don't go too much. I'll go about 2 for all of them. 1 actually for the shadows because I don't want it to be too orangey. And then for sharpening, I crank that up. So I'm at 56 right now. I'll also scroll down to the luminous, and that really does adjust the softness as well. As you can see, if I go all the way up, it gets even softer. So I went down in the 20 range. Let's see, it's 17. I went down to 17 range for this one. And then that is really it. I don't really do too much down here with lens blur or transform. There are some times when I go to like the lens corrections and I'll do distortion if it's like not straight enough. But for this one, it was really good. And that also depends on the lens you're using. If it's a wide lens, it may warp your image. So that's really good to use lens correction. But I scroll back up. Scroll down. Let's see. I also use, here we go. For the effects, I like to kind of bring that vignette, if I said that the right way, on the edges of the photos, because it really helps to focus in on the person, but not too dramatic. So I kept it at like a -1, which is really faint, but it's really, it adds to the photo. No grain for this one, as that grain would kind of make it a film look. And if there ever is any imbalance within the shadow color, I'll come down here and adjust that. So yeah, this is my simple way of editing photos. I think that I love just being able to play here in Lightroom. And I'm going to also go in now and crop it to the way it was in the previous one. And that's a really good thing too. When you're able to crop, it can really make a portrait even better. You know what? I'm going to actually come over here to custom and make my own, which is usually the portrait size that I go by is the one that Instagram goes by, which is 1080 by 1350 pixels. Awesome. And then it kind of gives that portrait size. So scroll up a little bit, and then I'm going to come in a little bit more, frame it. A little bit more here. Beautiful. I just want to make sure that if I am cropping that it looks really good and balanced. So then I click enter and bam, there you go. Another good thing that I do is I come over here and I click right here. And this is basically the mask panel. And I choose a brush. I'll click on the brush and I would click on this add symbol here. Click brush again. And this is where I'll come to custom and I'll click soften skin. Now, because I've already softened the skin, it's already where I like it. But this is when I come in like this, make circular motions all around the face so that the skin can look even cleaner and a little bit more muted, more closer to natural ways of looking. Yep, and then it'll do a beautiful job of just creating this balance. And then when I'm done, I just scroll down and close out of it. Close. And then a last trick that I do for any blemishes, I'll go back to the mask and I will, no, you know what? Actually, my apologies. I'll go right here to the healing, this Band-Aid right here. It's like a spot healing. And if I need to go in, I'll zoom in a little bit. And if you see that blemish there, I'll zap it away. And then I push close. And there you go. And then I zoom back out. And yeah, so that is my basic way of editing my portraits. It's really something that I've came up with throughout the years. I had to go through trial and error, but this is something that I really love to stick with, and it really helps me to have my own signature style. So yeah, if you are interested, let me know of any other Lightroom tutorials that you would like me to do, and I'll be happy to do it. But thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.